All right, we're gonna call the December 19th meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Murray? Yes. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Here. Mr. Vacula? Here. Mrs. Keeper?
Here. This time we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation. All right, at this time, are there any board members who desire to add, delete, or separate any items of the consent agenda as proposed? No? All right. I just need a motion to approve the meeting agenda as presented for the regular board meeting on December 19th, 2022.
So moved. Support.
Roll call?
Mr. Murray? Yes. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Vacula?
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carried. This time I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held on November 21st of 2022.
So moved. Support.
Roll call?
Mr. Murray? Yes. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Yes. Mr. Vacula?
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carries. At this time, is there any board members correspondence? Mr. Carroll? Mr. Small? Mr. Small, will you continue recognizing our guests and visitors?
You guys with us this evening, thank you for attending. Could you please just state your name?
Lucas Burkholder, Brady Roofer.
Dr. Dolores Schweinfurt, Denny Conran, T. Schmidt, Kelsey Wolf. Alexa Harbarger.
Ray Rothbard.
Adam Smith. Jax Walensky.
Thank you, everyone. Seeing that no one has registered to address the board, we will continue on. Mr. Carroll, would you like to continue with our financial reports?
Thank you. You have a stack of financial reports. These are for the month of November. Our first page is our cash reconciliation. Our books are balanced with the bank. We have our financial summary. That is how we are appropriated right now and the percent that we have expended out of each fund. We have our cash summary. That is the balance that we have in all of our funds. This includes the general fund, bonds, permanent improvement, food service, all the way down to our federal grants. And then we have the disbursement summary. These are the checks that we have issued during the month of November. Then we have our general fund graph. This compares our revenue and expenses to our forecast and then comparing it to last year at this time. So right now, at the end of November, we were 42% of the way through this fiscal year. And that is right in line with the percent of the forecast column that you see there. So everything looks good. Our cash balance is on the bottom, again, comparing to last year, which is just about identical. And the last report is our payroll and benefits report, again, comparing to where we are for the forecast. So we are 42% of the way through the year, and we have spent 42% of what I think we will for this fiscal year for payroll and 39% for benefits. We did have that one donation for in the month. We have an updated ESC agreement for Holy Trinity. And then the increases for all of these funds that you see are just kind of a mid-year adjustment for budgets and our revenues coming in. And we do have one deposit agreement coming with Farmers and Merchant that just needs updated every 5 years. So you'll see that on the agenda. And the last update is our audit that has been completed for fiscal year 22. Just want to give a shout out to Melissa and Betty. They had 0 issues with the entire process. The auditor did not find a single issue with accounts receivable and payroll. So amazing job to them.
Great news. Any questions for Mr. Carroll? No? All right, thank you, Mr. Carroll. We're gonna move on to the financial part of the agenda. At this time, we'll need a motion to approve the financial report that we just went over here with Mr. Carroll to accept the following donation of $100 anonymous donation to the Student Assistance Fund, to approve a revised auxiliary service agreement with the Educational Service Center of Lake Erie West for the 2022-2023 school year in the amount of $88,338.60 for auxiliary service personnel to benefit Holy Trinity Schools and to amend resources and modify appropriations accordingly. And then we also need to approve all those following appropriations that Mr. Carroll told us were increases. We need to approve the following depository agreement for January 1st, 2023 through December 31st of 2028 for the Farmers Merchant State Bank. That's for payroll processing and interim deposits. So at this time, I just need a motion to approve the following financial reports and other financial items.
So moved. Support.
Any questions or discussion?
The revised auxiliary services, did that get revised up or down? I didn't look at that.
Up slightly, and that happens about 3 times a year, just kind of tweaking their budget. And those funds come directly from the state, and then we issue them, right? So we're just kind of a pass through.
Okay. All right, roll call.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Bacula?
Yes.
Mrs. Keefer?
Yes, motion carries. At this time, we'll move on to the personnel position or personnel part of the agenda. To offer the following supplemental contracts and approve volunteers for the 2022-2023 year pending the completion of all people activity permits. You can see Zach Myron, volunteer wrestling coach, Aaron Schmidt, assistant track coach, Steve McDowell, assistant track coach, Kent Cockrell, assistant track coach, Nicholas Hassan, 7th, 8th coach, track coach, Megan Rose, volunteer EMS coach, Nelson Holiday, assistant varsity baseball coach, Haley Sen, assistant varsity softball coach, Matt Keller, volunteer softball coach, Kylie Raker, JV softball coach, and Madison Zoltowski, volunteer softball coach. To approve the following high school, middle school paid and or volunteer event workers for the 2022-2023 school year, Taylor Johnson and Ethan Van Lukey. To approve an unpaid leave of absence for Mrs. Lindsay Abrams from her 2-hour bus driver position effective November 21st of 2022 through May 26th of 2023, unless she is able to return sooner. To an offer of non-teaching 1-year limited contract effective December 19th, 2022 for the 2022-2023 school year to Mrs. Dawn Kundick, a bus driver for 4 hours per day. Also pay the stipends for the Orthon Gillingham training for the following teachers out of the 516-9923 fund. Stephanie Sutton, Tori Wright, Jessica Root, Kate Ashtonfelter, Nicole Ziegler, Carrie Radel, Diane Pickering, Andrea Hessen, Kelly Carmine, Amber Dole, Shannon Liu, and Jackie Mossy. At this time, we just need a motion to approve the above listed personnel positions.
So moved. Or
Questions or discussion?
what's the Orton Gillingham training?
This for reading specialist, reading
It meets
education.
it meets our criteria for dyslexia training. It's a tier 1 training that teachers go through this summer.
Thank you.
Further questions? All right, roll call.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Bacula?
Yeah.
Mrs. Keefer?
Yes, motion carries. Oh, okay, so this should be under other business or,
It's still personnel, but it's
Okay.
separated from the
Okay.
consent.
okay. All right, so we need a motion to approve the following high school, middle school paid volunteer worker for the 22-23 school year for Hunter Vaculate.
So moved. Support.
All right, questions? All right, roll call.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Bacula?
Same.
Mrs. Keefer?
Yes, motion carried. All right, now we'll move on to other business. All right, we need a motion for the Evergreen Local Board of Education to adopt the 2023-2024 district school calendar and tentatively approve the 2024-2025 district school calendar as recommended by school administration and the calendar committee after receiving pupil input and to include the following significant dates. I'm sorry, that was public input. To include the following significant dates, as you can see there. Motion?
Support.
Any questions or discussion? I have received multiple phone calls regarding next year's calendar. I have informed them that the days are the same, so the 180 days. When I was given the question on, mostly it's the Christmas break. I told them that we are coming back later in August. I wasn't sure if it was, testing requirements, days we needed, or how that worked out, but I told them to call you. I don't know if you were contacted or not, but
I was not contacted. It does seem like a shorter Christmas break, and it's simply when Christmas falls, we have to try and balance the 2 semesters. I have heard the last couple of years of when we had been starting in August, that it was very hot and worry about kids on the buses that don't have air conditioning, so we did adjust a little bit later to get those days in. It shrunk the Christmas holiday a little bit, as you could see from the 24-25. It's back to a full 2 weeks off because of when Christmas falls, so.
Yeah, but the first and second quarter are quite a bit shorter, if I'm reading this right, than
Correct.
third and fourth. So the late start is actually shortening first and second.
A little bit, it's not out of line with what we have done in the past. They're intentionally, second semester is intentionally a little bit longer because you typically have the snow and cold weather days, second semester.
I've also received complaints or concerns. And quite honestly, I just told them this has been on, this has been out for quite some time, and if they, just take it up with the calendar. Because that's what the administration and the teachers came up with. So it's been out there for a while.
it has been, and because we've been doing the 2 years.
Correct.
For the last couple years.
Yeah,
so.
because if anyone wants to look at next year's, or the 24-25 calendar, here it is. So if you want to make any adjustments or have any complaints, this would probably be the proper time to do it. For 24-25.
Any further discussion or questions on that? All right, roll call.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Vaculip.
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carries. At this time, we need a motion for the Evergreen Local Board of Education to join in membership with the Ohio School Board Association and to authorize the treasurer to pay $5,504 membership for the 2023. I'm guessing school year. In 2022, it was 5,567, so it actually went down a bit.
So moved.
All right, any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Vaculip.
Yeah.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carried. We need a motion to approve the updated Evergreen facility usage fee schedule for all school buildings.
Or
Questions or discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Murray.
yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Vaculip.
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carried. At this time, we need to approve the following overnight trip for Evergreen Ed student Megan Gleckler and teacher Alexis Howell to travel to the Next Gen Animal Systems Conference in Denver, Colorado for educational workshops and explore animal science careers. Student and teacher will stay on site at the conference. Attendees will depart on February 28th, 2023 and return on March 3rd, 2023. The trip costs approximately $1,500 and will be paid by the school FFA account, FFA alumni, students, parents, and community sponsors.
So moved. Or
Questions or discussion? Is this, like something that Megan got?
She
Elected.
qualified to be eligible to attend. Yes, it was an application process.
Perfect.
Congratulations to her.
Yeah, all right, roll call?
Mr. Murray.
yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Vaculip.
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carried. At this time, we need a motion to commend the Evergreen High School quiz team members for qualifying the national competition and approve an overnight trip for 10 team members. Advisor Bill Blanchong and other parent chaperones will attend the National Academic Quiz Bowl Tournament in Chicago, Illinois to complete for an NAQT Small School National Championship. Attendees will depart on Friday, April 28th, 2023, and return on Sunday, April 30th, 2023. Stay at the Hyatt Regency Hotel during the competition.
So moved. Support.
Any discussion?
Any ideas how many years in a row they've done this?
Every year since I've been here, they qualified except 2020 with COVID when that didn't happen.
Okay, thank you.
All right, roll call?
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Vaculip.
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carries. At this time, we need to set the 2023 annual organizational meeting for the Evergreen Local Board of Education on January. What is that?
It has to happen before January 15th, so the 9th would be the Monday, and I know you We had conflicts there in the
And
past,
that's
so
the
the 9th.
second Monday, right?
Yes.
Okay, I can make that January 9th, or we can do January 9th at 5:45 to be held in the Evergreen High School Lauren Pennington Learning Center with the regular board meeting to immediately follow. So everybody can write in the 9th. Does anybody have any problem with that? No? All right, so I just need a motion.
Whoa,
Whoa,
whoa.
what's happening over there?
Ooh,
That always happens.
football national championship.
Just want to put that out.
Tony doesn't want to be here that night, all that.
They won't pay attention.
Are we sticking
Heard
with,
that like, well, it's gonna be done.
are we sticking with the 9th, or can we can go to the 10th?
I can, does not matter. I can't do.
It just
The
has,
9th, okay. So I need a,
it just has to be before the 15th.
Okay. so we're gonna stick with the 9th at 5:45 with our, regular meeting to follow. I just need a,
So moved.
all right, roll call?
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Packard? Yes. Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carried. At this time, we need to elect someone as our president pro tempore to preside in the beginning of a January 2023 organizational meeting until the newly elected president resumes the chair. We usually, you wanna do it? Okay, select that, Murray, as the president pro tempore to preside in the beginning of the January 2023 meeting, organizational meeting, until the newly elected president resumes the chair.
Support.
All right, roll call?
Mr. Murray? Yes. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Packard? Yes. Mrs. Keeper?
Yes, motion carried. At this time, Mr. Small, would you take over the discussion and information?
Sure. On the information end, Cindy Schenker is moving to the elementary head cook position at 7.5 hours per day with the retirement of Sharon McCabe at the end of the month. And then Vanessa Martinez will be moving into Cindy's vacant cook position at 5.5 hours a day. So that just to get information purposes. Discussion wise, we've had the potential 5th grade move to the middle school on the agenda for a couple of months. I mentioned the goal of a potential move has always been to provide additional opportunities for the students. The move to the middle school is a way we're able to provide opportunities and address additional challenges like space, transition, and programming for the kids. The critical piece of a move has been the schedule for the 5-6 cohort. New format for the 5-6 cohort will be a blend of both the elementary and middle school schedules to help address the age and maturity gaps. This new schedule provides a transition period from the elementary to the middle school, high school. With that, some of the concerns we had heard were interacting in the halls and needing some separation. The two cohorts will not change classes at the same time, being on different schedules. Bells can be customized to each cohort to prevent confusion, so we can run 2 bell schedules within the building. If we do that, the additional time in core subjects is increased for depth and teacher support for mastery activities. The idea of getting more of the work done in there with the support of the teacher, lessening homework and helping the kids to be more successful. Balanced class sizes, the opportunity for advanced honors and gifted classes. Activity period built into the day for students to have a brain break. We heard the importance of that from parents, teachers alike. The enrichment period in the schedule provides opportunity to introduce STEAM, leadership, career exploration, and soft skills programming, as well as provide opportunities for specifically designed instruction for students who need it. Core class teachers will have common planning periods and less instructional prep. So with the packet that was over on the table with the agendas, has that sample schedule and how it matches up with the schedule that 6 through 8 is currently on. So the 6th grade would move on to the 5-6 cohort schedule. 7-8 would stick with the existing schedule that also matches the high school. Specific details like room assignments, supervision periods, and additional program schedules. And our transition plan still needs to be finalized. We wanted to share that draft schedule, the overview of the plan, and we're open to feedback from community members, from the board, from the teachers. We met with the 5th and 6th grade teacher teams. We're going to follow up with them immediately after break and see where we're at and keep moving forward. As long as the board desires to continue to explore this possibility.
Any questions or discussion?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
They have a recess / activity time, where?
We've looked at different opportunities, the multimedia room there, we looked at the potential of bringing in some even foosball, air hockey, some of that into that space, if the gym would be available to use that, or creating some activities in the cafeteria potentially.
Okay, but it would be more of an indoor type.
It
of
would
thing.
be more of an indoor since we don't
Space.
have the outside facilities for a traditional recess that they have at the elementary.
Thanks.
Any further questions?
As we work through that, I'll continue to provide additional information as to where we're at and what the plans look like.
Awesome. Thank you. You want me to take over or do you want to do this part?
That is totally up to you. I can do that, to prepare for the organizational meeting, some questions just that will help us draft that agenda. Shall the superintendent continue to serve as the purchasing agent for the Evergreen Local Board of Education with a single item spending limit of $35,000?
Yeah.
As per our usual arrangement, anything big like
Anything
that,
big?
please run by us.
Absolutely.
With
Shall
the
the board
exception
adopt?
of fuel.
What's that?
I'm sorry, with the exception of fuel. We know fuel's coming.
Shall the board adopt a resolution to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting?
Yes.
Shall the board continue to utilize a consent agenda by topic for future meetings?
Yeah.
Shall the board continue to meet on the third Monday of the month at 6 p.m.?
That work with everybody except for that one? Okay, yeah.
Shall the board continue to accept oral reports from the building principals at the meetings?
Think so. I think so. Maybe just.
Shall the board continue to be compensated for a maximum of 13 meetings per year?
Yeah.
And does the board wish to continue an opening ceremony of the regular meeting that consists of the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move on to you, Mr. Roofer.
Well, since you want a report from me every month, this is gonna be a good 20-minute report. High school, I think we're getting through the last 3 days. The kids tell me they're still learning. They have tests and quizzes. I know they're excited, so we're trudging through the last 3 days. I want to congratulate the EHS quiz team. They, for the first time since 2018, won the Fulton County quiz tournament. And then the JV team also placed second in that. They have also participated in the academic challenge that's on channel 24 on Saturday mornings. They beat Eastwood and Lake, so those will air, Mr. Blanchard tells me, the first of the year. So congratulations to them and a shout out to those students and Mr. Blanchard for their efforts. Also, we had the OMEA District 1 Honor Choir. Congratulations to Melanie Krimpek, Kirsten Taylor, Isaiah Pasco, Mikey Wheeler, Kyle Feeback, and Caleb Grasser. They sent in audition recordings and were selected. They in the area and they will perform at the Stranahan. I'm not sure, I think that's in January, February, but congratulations to them. And it was also announced at the band concert Sunday, but I wanted to recognize Chris Lyons through the Ohio American Legion. He was chosen as the Ohio Educator of the Year, which is a pretty big deal. So congratulations to him. We're very blessed to have him here. I want to also recognize our students. I think we had some of them here that went on December 8th. Our students went and helped at the Fulton County Christmas Cheer. They were helping the customers with shopping, picking out supplies, food, toys, and our kids, I'd never been to it. It was pretty neat. I'm gonna pick on Brooklyn. She was awesome. She was just conversating with these people. All of our kids were personable. The organizers said that they've never seen a group that good. And we actually got invited back again on Thursdays. So we're bringing more kids next year because they were just outstanding. So little things like that mean a lot, and to see them out in that arena, it's great to see. Also want to recognize, on Sunday, our band and choir concerts. We have some pretty talented kids. If you didn't make it, they're the band and choir kids. It was a very good show. So that is it for my report, unless you have questions. None? Thank you.
Mr. Burkholder.
Good evening, everybody. At the middle school level, we want to recognize Amanda Brame first. She's our People's Champ for the month. Anybody who's been around Mrs. Brame knows how hard she works and how much she does for our building. She's been with us for 18 years in the district. And this year she's even kind of taken on dual roles because she's helping out at the high school. So she's got a lot on her plate. She's been pretty amazing helping me out as a first year administrator. Last Thursday, we had the Fulton County Career presentation at our building for our 8th graders. They came out and gave a presentation kind of previewing our January field trip we'll take out there, letting the kids select 3 different things that they'll go see. That went over really well. And then on Friday, we had our second row day of the year. As far as lessons go, we had our lesson on ownership. And that went pretty well. Students learned about personal responsibility along the lines of situational awareness and understanding what they can and can't do. I also, just following Mr. Rupert's lead, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Lyons on a well-earned reward, being nominated as the Educator of the Year in Ohio. Building on that, Mr. Rose and Mr. Chairman and Mr. Lyons all put together a heck of a show on Sunday. I also want to congratulate the kids to participate in the middle school choir, the middle school band. They were excellent. Not that I have much of a musical ear, but even I can tell that they did a really good job. So I'd like to thank the Mini Viking Parent Club. They're feeding us again this week. Okay, they've been really beneficial to our staff this year, stepping in and helping out. So our staff gets taken care of on Wednesday by them. This week we had a number of our boss programs kind of putting out their community changes that they've been doing. So we've had announcements on, we've had posters put up around our building, and today we even had some skits going on during our NNI session. So congratulations to them. They've done a good job putting that together. And then the last thing this week is obviously our big week of Christmas for a lot of our buildings. We're gonna have a staff luncheon and we're gonna have a Christmas celebration tomorrow with the kids. Student council will be putting on a winter dance for us then on Wednesday. So I want to thank mainly the district office staff. A lot of them are coming to my aid tomorrow to help out. So any questions about the middle school?
Thank you, Mr. Burkholder. Mr. Small, you're gonna take care of elementary report?
Mrs. Brown wasn't feeling well today, so she is absent, so I will cover what she had from the elementary. Mr. Torrance hosted an excellent winter concert. Our mini Viking choir did an amazing job. We received our state test scores for our 3rd grade fall test. We had approximately 58% of our 3rd graders pass with a proficient or higher score. Mrs. Brown will be meeting with our 3rd grade teachers immediately following break to discuss scores and to begin creating a plan to assist our students in their areas of need. She said we are beginning a multi-tiered student support system to help our children at all levels of instruction. For those students that receive Tier 3 instruction, we will be meeting with parents in order to discuss student progress. Ms. Sharon, the elementary counselor, worked with the Gleaners to provide coats and boots to approximately 50 of our students. The Mini Viking parent group will be providing several of our parents' assistance through gift cards this Christmas. A huge thank you to Christ the Word for providing hot cocoa bar items and cookies for our tree lighting ceremony. Mr. Torrance did an outstanding job providing music that evening with our Mini Viking choir. And finally, she said, we are working on a plan for kindergarten screening and information will be going out to parents soon.
Awesome, thank you. Mrs. Schmidlin.
Hello, everybody. I did share, we did have our special education profile that was released last week. That's our annual report that's issued by the Ohio Department of Education every year. And based on that report, we had met all areas. It was based on the 2020-21 data. So considering the pandemic, there were some areas that were not rated. It was based on compliance indicators and performance indicators, like some state testing and things were not included. So 4 is considered the highest rating. We received 4s in all areas that were rated, which include disproportionality in special education, meaning we don't have an overabundance of students in special education. Timely evaluations, 100% of our evaluations were done on time. The transitions for preschool and the secondary transitions, which begin at age 14, were all completed in a timely manner as well. So we'll get that report again next year, and it's always helpful to kind of guide our success in areas of need. As next thing, as we move into the next phase of our strategic plan, focusing on student supports, we are beginning to explore that MTSS model, which is something that our district team, our administrative team is working on. It's always a challenge to kind of develop that systematic change as an individual. So I'm thankful that for our administrative team and our teachers for the conversations that are taking place to continue with growth in our response to intervention and supporting our students as a whole child. The administrative team, along with Mary Beth, our school psychologist, we're receiving some training on MTSS, which again stands for multi-tiered systems of support. And we're looking to establish some district procedure and practices with the goal of continued growth in the areas of academics, behavior, and social emotional needs. A shout out to the buildings. Each building we're kind of working on our own thing during this time, but we're hoping to gain some consistency throughout the district. The elementary teams are holding their tier 3 meetings. Middle school teams are holding meetings with families based on some behavioral needs and different areas of at risk that have been identified. And I know the high school team, their building leadership team, is also having some good conversation about next steps for intervention. So continuing to move in the right direction. As far as preschool, in November, the preschool classroom, the co-taught classrooms were restructured. Our initial approach was an area that we weren't finding the success we were looking for. The classes were really large. The teachers didn't feel like we had the best situation set up. So we did, Mrs. Brandon does have her own classroom, and it's been a positive adjustment. Our teachers have expressed that the children are making great progress. Census restructure took place. Speech and language, motor development, and social and emotional skills are soaring. And we continue to see a high projection in preschool numbers. So hoping to continue to keep evaluating that. Our annual early childhood screening will take place again this year on March 6th. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Schmidlin. Mr. Samola.
Yeah, just one thing to add as we bring the first semester to a close this week, I would like to thank our students for their spirit and their efforts in the classroom and in extracurricular activities this year. It has been great to see. I want to thank our parents for the support of their children and their commitment and involvement at Evergreen. I want to thank Evergreen staff for giving every day to provide our students with the best education possible. And finally, I want to wish the entire community a safe, peaceful holiday season.
Any board members with questions or concerns? No? All right, at this time, I need a motion for the members of the Evergreen Local Board of Education, superintendent, treasurer, and invited guests to go into executive session for the following reasons: to consider the employment of public employees.
Support.
Roll call.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Vaculett?
Yes.
Mrs. Keefe?
Yes, motion carried. There'll be no action after the executive session. So students can get their Mr. Blanchon paperwork to Mr. Reefer, and he'll take care of that for you guys. And everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.